Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is TheBlackLink, and we are a little under a week away from the official return of the next Destiny 2 event, Festival of the Lost. And today, we've actually got an early look at some of the things that we'll be doing within the Festival of the Lost. This year's event features a new haunted forest, the return of masks, new emotes, ghost shells, and even more. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Now, yesterday, a post popped up on the Destiny the Game subreddit from user PXM23. Apparently, he got a random notification in-game that advertised the return of the Festival of the Lost and gave us a bit of a sneak peek at some of the things that are going to be coming in next week's event. These are the usual notifications that generally pop up whenever an event is going live within Destiny 2, but it looks like this user wound up getting this prompt earlier than expected, which gives us a little bit of an opportunity to see what's going to be going on in Festival of the Lost next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at this notification banner. As you can see here, it says Festival of the Lost begins October 16th. Celebrations return to the tower for all Destiny 2 players when Festival of the Lost begins on October 16th. Survive the all-new Haunted Forest and earn exclusive themed rewards such as masks, emotes, ghost shells, and more. Read more at bungie.net. So there's a lot to unpack there, a lot of really interesting stuff. First things first, it confirms the return of masks to Destiny 2. This is something that was featured very heavily back in the original Festival of the Lost, way back in Destiny 1. And actually, as I was uploading this video to the channel, Bungie came out right and confirmed a lot of the things that have popped up here. They dropped the official article for Festival of the Lost 2018. Confirming everything that we just read and even more. There's actually some really exciting stuff that's going to be coming as a part of Festival of the Lost. And we'll take some time later in this video to go over everything in this article. Now, for those of you Guardians who are newer to the Destiny franchise, maybe you started playing with Destiny 2, Festival of the Lost was an event in the original Destiny that took place during Halloween in 2015 and 2016. During this event, Guardians could participate in various Halloween-themed activities to obtain masks and special consumables. There was even a quest that was tied to a tower vendor named Eva Levante, where she basically had you going and trick-or-treating throughout the tower by talking to different NPCs and collecting bits of candy from them. And of course, a healthy box of raisins from everyone's favorite mom. The event itself ran for a week or two, and it introduced a new system for armor, masks, which weren't really helmets. They were kind of like this low light alternative that you could wear to look like silly characters throughout the Destiny universe, as well as boss characters from back in D1. The masks varied in quality. There were rare masks, which would disappear after Festival of the Lost went away, and then you could upgrade those to legendary masks, which you could keep permanently. But of course, the item that was required to turn rare masks into legendaries was kind of tied a bit to microtransactions outside of a few quests that you had with the event, so that kind of went that way. But at the start of the event, Guardians were given an empty candy satchel, which could be filled with candy by killing enemies in PvE or Crucible activities. When your satchel was full, Guardians could bring it back to Eva to obtain a Gift of the Lost mystery bag, which would give a random rare mask and random Halloween-themed consumable. So, after completing the trick-or-treating quest within the tower, you were encouraged to go out into the game and just play the game, do strikes, public events, all that kind of stuff, defeat enemies, go play Crucible, and you would fill up your candy bag, which you could then turn in for a new mask. The event returned later on in Rise of Iron in 2016 with a few changes. They got rid of the whole rare mask into legendary mask system. They added new mystery bags that you could get random items from. Trials of Osiris matches got a rather spooky and in some cases annoying change with some jump scares. And of course, we got a new mystery quest in the tower that revolved around the Sweeper Bot's broom disappearing. Participating in that hidden quest and finding the broom got you an awesome new broom sparrow. And that's pretty much a wrap-up of what Festival of the Lost used to be back in Destiny 1. Now let's dive into some of the things that we know are coming now in Destiny 2. So here we are, Festival of the Lost 2018. We had this article drop a little bit earlier today, and it's going to cover a lot of the things that are going on. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. The festival will indeed be returning to the tower with all sorts of ornaments and decorations placed everywhere. And since no one has heard from Eva Levante since the city fell, shipwright Amanda Holliday has stepped up to raise everyone's spirits. Thanks to her, the tower's filled with merriment as memories good and bittersweet fill our hearts. And then we get some great shots of the tower. We get to see Amanda and her spot in the tower's hangar. The main section of the tower with a tree covered in engrams and candles and sort of a vigil to some of the characters from the story, as well as a great shot of some of our guardians wearing some of the new masks. You can see a guardian wearing a Zol mask, the Traveler, and even one referencing the Scorn. The article states that new triumphs will be available for you to earn, and Holiday will offer daily bounties that award fragmented souls. These items can be used to purchase Festival of the Lost masks, as well as the Horror Story Legendary Auto Rifle. And then we get a picture of that auto rifle in question. Looks like it's kind of got an origin story kind of model to it, which I guess makes sense in the naming convention. This is going to be an auto rifle titled The Horror Story, coming off of the origin story. But if you take a closer look at the background of this picture, you might notice it takes place in a very specific location on Mercury. That's right, the Infinite Forest is actually going to have a pretty large presence within the Festival of the Lost. And they cover that here. This year, Festival of the Lost brings more than just masks. For a limited time, all players of Destiny 2 are invited to the Haunted Forest. Guardians have been tasked with clearing out its ghouls and demons, which are spooking up a storm. You'll have 15 minutes to dive as deep as you can into the Haunted Forest and clear out the nightmares lying in wait. Be wary, the deeper you go, the more difficult your job will become. Meaning that the Infinite Forest has been redesigned into a place called the Haunted Forest that is kind of going to be a bit of a dungeon crawler. You go in, you have 15 minutes to go as far into the Infinite Forest as you can, taking out all kinds of enemies and bosses along the way. With the way it's worded, it seems like it's going to be a challenge that gets progressively more difficult the farther in you get, even showing off what looks to be an Ascendant Knight taking on a fire team of 3 Guardians. This is actually really interesting. This is exactly the type of utility I had always envisioned for the Infinite Forest. Considering it's a giant Vex simulation, you can use it for so many different things and so many different events, and I'm really happy that we're getting this Haunted Forest sort of thing alongside the Festival of the Lost. Bungie also notes that you can jump into the dark as a solo player with a pre-made fire team or through matchmaking to join other Guardians in the fight. And based on previous information, you'll be farming your way through the Haunted Forest for all sorts of rewards when it comes to the festival. This is definitely unexpected. When they spoke about the Festival of the Lost returning in Destiny 2, I really didn't think it would be too much more than what we got in the Taken King back in Destiny 1. So it's going to be really exciting to go through the Haunted Forest next week when Festival goes live and see exactly what secrets lie in wait. But that's not all that's happening in this year's event. Most players of Forsaken have already won Justice for Cade 6, but near the conclusion of Festival of the Lost, they'll be called once again to avenge a fallen friend. Master Ives has been struck down. Maybe someone wanted to settle an old score, or they lost their temper when receiving an edge transit. Whatever provoked the wrongdoing, justice must be served. This is the murder mystery quest that we've been hearing about for a little bit now. We'll be pursuing Master Ives killers through a questline that's going to add an additional powerful reward for you to earn each week. The hunt will begin on Tuesday, October 30th. So that will start a couple of weeks after the Festival of the Lost goes live. Finally, of course, with these Destiny events, we also have some new stuff concerning the Eververse store. In a section titled Treats for All, here's what they had to say. Alongside the Festival of the Lost rewards from Amanda Holiday and the Festival of the Lost triumphs, players will earn an ephemeral engram every time they fill their XP bar after achieving the max character level. Players will receive this engram in addition to the Steadfast engram, which effectively awards players double bright engrams for the duration of the Festival of the Lost. Players may also purchase ephemeral engrams from Tess Eververse in the tower if they so choose. And then we get a great look at some of the things that are going to be within those ephemeral engrams, including some new ships, new sparrows, and of course some new ghost shells, in particular that cat ghost shell. I think we might have just found ourselves the new Ghost. Additionally, Tess will also feature rewards from the ephemeral engram on the Bright Dust store throughout the event, for those wishing to purchase specific items directly. Then finally we get a look at a couple of the new emotes that are going to be dropping along Festival of the Lost, which at this point is kind of a time-honored tradition with Destiny in this particular event. This is when we got like the Michael Jackson Thriller dance emote way back in the day. But anyways, they finish things up by saying every Guardian is invited to shoot their way through the masquerade. Festival of the Lost begins on Tuesday, October 16th and concludes at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, November 6th. So this is going to be a 3-week-long event with seemingly plenty of things for you Guardians to do. And I've got to say, I'm pretty excited about a lot of this. I was always a fan of Festival of the Lost in the past. I love the masks and stuff that you could kind of get with it. And I was really just expecting more of the same when it came to this event in Destiny 2, so I'm very happy to see that we're going to be getting stuff like big changes into the Infinite Forest. We're going to have a game mode that goes on with that, with matchmaking. You can do it solo, you can do it with friends. I love the murder mystery quest aspect to it. I wonder where that's going to lead. There are, of course, reports that Thunderlord might be a part of Festival of the Lost, so whether that's going to be tied to the murder mystery or whether that's going to be tied to completing the Haunted Forest, we'll just have to see. But this event is certainly shaping up to be a really great time within the world of Destiny 2. Are you excited about the return of the festival? Be sure to let us know how you feel about it, what you want to see, and whether or not you've got any favored masks from D1 that you want to see returned in D2. Be sure to hit us up with all that down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But anyways, it's going to be it for this one, Guardians. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am TheBlackLink. You Guardians, stay frosty.